Hey fellow beaders, it's JP and here is the completed necklace for the pendant. So I made the spiral rope, and so this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to make the rope, and it came out really nice. I think it looks great together with all the crystal and bling. And so I know you guys have been waiting a long time for this, and I apologize for the delay in getting this tutorial out. Basically what happened was that my computer decided to go on strike, and without a computer I can't edit the videos and I can't upload them. So the computer had to be shipped out. It was under warranty, so that was nice that I didn't have to spend money on getting it fixed, but it had to be shipped out, and then they had to fix it and then ship it back to me. So that took almost 2.5 to 3 weeks to get that done, unfortunately. And then when I got it back, a lot of the files were corrupted, and especially some of these video files that I had. So I had to reshoot some of the video. So one thing you'll notice is that in part of the video, my nails are blue, which is what they are right now. And then in some of the videos, they're sort of a light purple color. And that's because those were originally the original files. Those were the original videos that were shot, and then some of the reshooting. Anyway, which is why you'll see different color nails. But it was just so I can get this out faster to you guys and save myself a little bit of time. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy the tutorial, and again, I apologize for the delay. Everything is fixed now, fingers crossed, and I shouldn't have any more problems. And I should be able to go back to my regular weekly schedule of posting. Okay, so enjoy. Later. To begin my version of the spiral rope, I'm going to pick up two of my color A's and one color B, and I'm going to push them down to the bottom of my thread, leaving about a 6-inch tail. Now, spiral rope is done in a lot of different varieties. This one is my particular version, and what I'm going to do is pick up 5 of my 11-0 seed beads, and I am going to go back up all the beads, just like this. And this is what I'm going to get. Now, you can pick up as many beads as you want when you do these loops. I just chose to do 5. Now what I'm going to do is pick up another one of my color A's and push them to the end of my thread, and then I'm going to pick up 5 more of my 11-0s, and this time I'm not going to go through this last bead. I'm going to skip the last bead, and I'm just going to go up the next 3 beads. Just like this. And this is what you're going to get. And then what you do is just turn the loop to whatever side is comfortable for you, and you keep going. So I'm going to pick up another color A, and this time I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s, one of my crystals, and 2 more 11-0s. And I'm going to let my 8-0 bead here come down, or I guess I'll let all my beads come down, and just like this. Then I'm going to skip the first 2 here, and I'm going to go through the last 3. So you're always going through the first 3 8-0s from the top. That's the way you're going to do this. So I'm going to pull my needle through, and here's my next loop. And I'm going to just move that over, and I'm going to continue adding loops. So now I'm going to pick up a color B and let that drop, and I'm going to pick up 5 more of my 11-0s. And again, I'm going to skip over, so I'm just going to go through the top 3 11 O's, or sorry, top 3 of the 8 O's of the core beads. And I should now have another set of loops. And so this is the way you continue with your spiral rope. You're just adding a core bead, and then you are picking up your, what I call the loop beads, the spiral part, and that's it. That's how you start it. And so now for my next loop, the other thing you want to do is you want to pick a direction or a side for when you're adding loops. So all my loops are getting pushed here towards the right. So I'm holding them down with my thumb. I'm going to pick up my core bead, and this time it's a color A. I'm bringing it down here to the bottom, and I'm going to pick up 5 11 O's to make my loop. And again, I'm just going to go through these top 3 beads like this. And I'm going to push my loop again to the side. I pick up another color A, bring it all the way down, and this time, because this is a third loop, I'm going to pick up 2 11 O's, a rondelle, and then 2 more 11 O's, and I go through again just the top 3 beads. Okay, so this is what the spiral loop looks like. At least this is my version of it. There are so many different versions that you can do. You can add, 4 core beads at a time to when you start off, and then 7 beads in your loops, or basically any which way which is possible. So I like this. This is the way I like it. So this is what I've done. I'm going to keep going, and I will probably going to make maybe 16 to 19 inches of rope. I'll show you how to, once I get about halfway, I'll show you how to attach my pendant, and then I'll show you how to attach the clasp. But this is it. You just keep going through the same pattern. So you add a bead, you pick up your loop beads, and then you go up 3 of those core beads from the top. All right, well, keep going, and I will show you the next step. Okay, fellow beaders, so if you've been continuing with your rope, then this is what you should have so far. So I've done 8 inches, and I've decided that my necklace will be 16 inches long. And so I'm at the midpoint now, and what I'm going to do is actually add the pendant directly into the rope and make it part of the rope. So I'm going to anchor it at the crystals that I have here. So I'm going to use 2 of the crystals here, these points, and I'm going to anchor the pendant. And so here in my rope, I've added 2, based on my pattern, I've done 2 loops with just seed beads. So now it's time to do a loop with the crystal in it. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up my core bead. So I'm doing this copper bead now. I've picked up 2 11 O's, and then what I'm going to do is pick up the crystal, but I'm going to use the crystal that's here as part of the pendant, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick up my last 2 11 O seed beads that I need to finish. And so we are going to go through the last 3 beads just like normal. So I've got this bead, and I want to start here, go through these 2 core beads, and my third core bead is my copper, and just pull everything nice and tight, just like this. And there I've added the pendant. So I'm actually going to go ahead and anchor it a little further down also. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with the rope, and then when I get close enough to anchor it here, I'm going to do that again. So, but before we continue, what you want to do is go ahead and reinforce this. So go through the beads a couple more times, and so this point is firmly anchored and it's not going to come apart from the weight of the pendant, because the pendant is fairly heavy. We got a lot of crystals and got a big giant jumbo pearl in there, and so you definitely want a good place to hold it. So now I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep adding beads until I get to this point. So once I get to that point, I will show you the next part and how I do this anchoring. All right, let's keep going. Okay, fellow beaders, so after I anchored the pendant to the rope, I did one more round of my loops here, and now I'm ready to anchor at a second point in the pendant. So I'm going to pick up my core bead, and I'm going to pick up 2 of my 11-0 beads and bring them down to the bottom. Then I'm going to go through my crystal. So, and please note the direction that I'm going in. I'm going from left to right. And then I'm going to pick up 2 more 11-0 beads. Bring those down. And then what you got to do is go through the last 3 core beads. I'm trying to do this with my right hand. How hard is that? All right. Anyway, I'm a lefty. That proves it. Okay, so, and there it is. And I've anchored it again. Now, all you have to do is make sure you reinforce it and make sure there's no gaps. As you can see, there's a little bit of a gap here. So you want to make sure that gets tightened up. And then you continue. So I'm just going to go through the loop again to reinforce it. And then I'm just going to keep going with the rope. And I've already shown you how to do the rope, so we'll keep going with that. And then I will show you how to add the clasp. Okay, fellow beaders, so I have finished my necklace, and I'm going to show you how to do the clasp. So what I've done is just created a simple loop for my clasp. So here I put in the jump ring, and all I did was create a loop with the seed beads that connects to the core beads, and just kept it very simple. So I'm going to do the same thing here on this side with my lobster claw here. And all you're going to do is you're going to pick up 7 of your seed beads, your 11-0 seed beads. So I've got my 7. I'm going to pick up my lobster claw and bring all of that down to the bottom. And then you're just going to go down into the beads, just like that. And now you've created your loop. Now what you're going to do is actually go up into, so I'm going to go up into 2 of these beads here. That's right by the crystal. And I'm going to do a half-hitch knot right by the crystal. Just like that. And then the knot will get pushed into the crystal, and then I'm going to go through the crystal. And the seed beads. Just like this, and then just go down a couple more beads, and you're just gonna, so I'm going down 2 of these core beads, And now I'm going to work my way up, back up towards the loop and reinforce the loop again. So I'm going to go up to this, go through all these seed beads that are part of my last loop in the group. So, and now as you can see, I'm coming out of this last one. I'm just going to go through the seed beads in this loop to reinforce. And if you're using Fireline, you should be able to do this 2 or 3 times. I'm using Wildfire, so I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to do this more than twice because it's already pretty tight getting through the beads. So I'm just going to go ahead and so there's your loop. Your clasp is in it, and it looks like it's just part of the design. So now I'm just going to make a half-hitch knot here, right here between my 2 core beads. And there should be plenty of different threads. So just want to get between the threads. Just like that, and then just feed your needle through more of these core beads. And I'm getting caught again. Okay, and that should do it. And you can always tie more knots if you want. It feels very secure. So I'm ready to cut my thread. And we are done. So that was the spiral rope. And there it is. There's our necklace with the pendant and the rope. So now you know how to anchor, at least one way to anchor a pendant. I mean, you can always make a bail and anchor it that way too. So, but this way it's sort of part of the whole design. Okay guys, see you in the next tutorial.